who's going for banana splits and I wish I got it, but who's doing stuff like that? No one's doing that kind of thing. I don't think any one of these guys have shown their versatility and their grappling arsenal as I have. A lot of these grapplers, they're very high level, but it's very basic, very traditional. I think the next evolution we're going to see in the ground department is going to be a lot of leg locks, heel hooks. If you come down to the Renzo Gracie Academy, Matt Serra, BJJ Academy, man, these guys are killers on the mat. If you leave your ankles exposed for 1 second, you're tapping. And those are the guys I'm rolling with every day. So my game's just evolving every time I step in the room to practice. And I don't know what Rani Yaya is going to have for me besides traditional grappling. You know, I'd be very surprised if he come out and do something very unorthodox. And I'm willing to go out there and throw a flying triangle. Is he willing to do some shit like that? I really have no idea, but I'm willing to do that kind of crazy stuff. And I'm not really sure what to expect besides him trying to go out there and take me down. If he tries to stand with me, I think it's going to get ugly really fast, really quick.
Map out your 2018. You said just then that aiming to get the belt in 2018. How many fights do you think you're going to need to go through to get that title shot?
I think 2 more. I think this one, and I think I fight 1 more in 2018, and I think that should be the #1 contender fight. I think just the way the landscape of everything, you got a Sunsao fighting Matt Lopez. The winner of that is going to be one step closer. Really, I don't think they want a Sunsao to fight for the belt. That's just my personal opinion, because the guy split decisions everybody, and he acts like he just got a finish. Caraway, that guy doesn't fight. He's finally fighting. He's fighting on the same card as me. Then you have Cruz versus Rivera. They're getting the next title shot. That will be in 2018. And then after that, we're gonna see what else shakes up. You got John Dotson. If he gets another win, that could be an interesting fight for me. So I just think this fight, I have to win this one. Got to get a finish. I think I go out there and fight 1 more in 2018, and I can solidify myself as the #1 contender for the next shot at the belt. We know this game is different these days, man. It's not, rankings don't mean shit. It really don't. I heard Cerrone actually saying that in an interview, and he's 100% right. It's been like that for the past almost 2 years at this point. So you go out there, you talk your shit, you shoot your shot, and hopefully good things happen.
So you'd be happy enough if your next fight in December was actually for a title. You're at the point of your career where you feel like you're perfectly ready for that opportunity?
For this next fight in December?
Yeah, imagine that was a title shot. Are you in the place in your career where you can handle it?
Where I can handle it 100%, but is it the right time? I don't think it's the right time. Mm-hmm. I think I need 1 more fight. Right. Personally, I think I go in there with a 3-fight win streak, 4-fight win streak. I think that makes a more appealing fight for the masses to want to watch and tune in. Right. You know, no one wants to see that guy coming in off of 1 or 2 wins and then going there and fighting for the title. I mean, maybe unless you're a Conor McGregor or someone like a polarizing figure, like maybe a Ronda Rousey comes back, she could immediately fight for a title. I'm in a different space right now. You know, I'm still developing, building my brand, building my career. So I understand how this game works a little bit, and wins matter. Right. And especially at my weight class, I want to bring something to the table to really come in there with some solid momentum. Right.
I have to ask as well, who's the better real estate agent, you or Ray Janelle?
Well, he's a licensed realtor. I'm not a licensed realtor. Okay. I just develop the homes. Right. You know, if you guys want a house, you know, you tell me what you want, I'll fix it up, get you the nice open floor plan, and you let me know what your budget is, and we'll work something out.
UK as well?
Boom in Long Island at the moment or something. Why is everyone in MMA in that neck of the woods is getting into real estate?
Well, that's where the money is, man. If you're smart enough and you know you're savvy enough and you're gonna put in the time the right way, you can make some good money doing it. You know, I think it's become a little bit saturated, getting a little bit harder to get those profit margins that everyone's been so keen on wanting to get into the real estate business from the beginning to want to get. But you know, if you do your homework and you put in time, it's possible. But it's hard with fighting, man. It's hard.
And do you think, just from your personal experience, it's important to have something else, not just your mixed martial arts career, but have another revenue stream that kind of helps you out as well?
At least one thing. You know, I think it's very foolish for guys to just think I'm just gonna fight and that's it, because there's only a select few of guys who are gonna come in and just constantly keep winning, where their purse is going to go up. They're going to fight for the belt right away. There's going to be bumps and ups and downs in the road, man. And it's like a roller coaster, this sport. You know, 1 minute you're on top of the game, you're on top of the world. Next minute, no one gives a shit. Yeah. And then you got to build yourself back up. You know, you got to keep believing in yourself and keep doing that. But if you have something set up, you know, you don't have to go in there thinking, oh, I have to get to this fight. If I don't get to this fight, I can't pay the bills. And I was at a point where it was like that, because Long Island is just an expensive area. It's very tough to get by with just the money I was getting from beforehand. But good thing I was smart with my money. You know, I think I made one bad investment. It's not even an investment. I bought a car, financed it. It was an Audi. I love her. I call it audacity. But it's a foolish mistake I made because I didn't have someone better to kind of explain the value of money. And these are things I'm learning along the way. So I'm teaching myself at the same time, and then I realized some of the things I should be doing, like branding yourself, setting yourself up for the future. And I coach on the side, so I have to stay active, keep moving.
We're all well aware mixed martial arts is a very volatile industry. I mean, you or your opponent could break a toe and then you're out of your fight in December and there goes that paycheck and then, sorry, that was just a point.
In terms of managing your career and trying to work your way up to a title shot, it's a bit of a balance in that because you want to go out there and entertain, but you also need to make sure that you win. How do you strike that balance when you're getting ready for fights? Because, as you said, rankings don't always count for everything these days.
Well, I think it depends on your fight style and your strategy. I pride myself in being a finisher. It's been a long time. It's been 2 years since I've gotten finished, which is a very, very, very long time. I'm trying. I'm doing everything I can. I'm putting the hammers on these guys. I'm trying to drop the hammer of throwing these guys on the ground, and they're hanging on, man. And it's tough. There's no real answer to that. You gotta find that happy medium. You still gotta get your hand raised. It's one thing to be the exciting fighter who's jumping off the cage and doing all kinds of crazy shit, but if you're getting taken down and putting your back for 4 minutes of the fight, you're gonna lose. So you gotta figure out when is the smart time to do that in the fight, when to pull the trigger on those things, and people want to see people get punched in the face. I come to realize that. I did a lot of kicking early on in my career because it was safe. I came out pretty much unscathed every single time, and I like protecting the moneymaker. Then I realized, I can only get by and beat those top guys so far. There's only so much I can get by doing that, and I had to adjust. And I learned, So you got to just keep evolving and keep punching people in the face. That's more exciting, I think. Is that not exciting? You want to see people get punched?
You're two guys who are going to be standing in the octagon in the main event. They both love to get in there and entertain.
Yeah.
That should be an absolutely superb main event. Break that fight down for us. How do you see that fight going?
I think it's a very exciting fight. Cerrone brings it every single time. That guy doesn't know what retreat is. Till's a very good striker in his own right. He's younger, more durable, I think, at this point in their respective careers. Not saying Donald, I think if you watch the fights closely, you can see some of those shots that Donald has taken in his past few fights. It looks like it's doing a little bit more damage than it has done in the past. And I think it's become a little bit harder for him to wear those punches the way he has, in like I said, in the past. But I think he goes out there, he lands those combinations the way he typically does, like he did against Rick Story. Man, it could be a short night for Till. But like I said, Till's a great striker in his own right. Very smart, very young, and I think it always makes for a good matchup when it's going to be two strikers that are coming in there to put their hands on somebody.
And we got GSP versus Bisping coming up, so I just want to get your prediction on that and how you think that fight's going to play out.
GSP he's been a great champion, but I think to take that many years off and to come back and fight a bigger guy, and he's not that much bigger, I don't think, in physical build. I mean, I haven't seen him up close and personal, but I think Bisping's a bigger guy. He's more durable. He's fought the who's of everybody in the division. He's been around since Tough 3, and he's still one of the only survivors who is still walking around who actually wore gold. And it's amazing his journey, how long he's been able to come around. And I think he's the bigger man. He's gonna go out there. He should bully GSP, and if GSP is gonna try to GSP him, I think it's gonna be a long 25 minutes because Bisping's a big guy. He's not a small 85er.
And we've got. Well, they haven't announced it yet, but it looks like it's going to happen. Cyborg versus Holly Holm. What's your thoughts on that fight and a prediction for that fight as well?
Well, Holly Holm's a very smart fighter. I think she's going to use her sidekicks to keep the distance. I think Cyborg had a tough fight, her last one with Tanya Evinger. Everyone expected her to go out there and steamroll her in the first round. I even thought so. I thought she was going to kill her in like the first 2 minutes, but she didn't. Evinger stood in there and battled, and I think she showed that Cyborg is human. She's not really a cyborg, But I think that's going to be a very interesting stylistic fight. Holly's got the long range kicks. She's more of a technical boxer, where Cyborg's more of a, I'm coming out there to throw sledgehammers at you. And I think if Holly Holm could beat a matador a little bit, tire her out into the later rounds, I think Holly can steal the fight, kind of show upset everybody, kind of like she did Ronda Rousey.
And obviously you're coming off a win over Renan Barao, former champion. So How's life treating you? How are you feeling after that fight, and then obviously with the confidence and everything?
I feel good. I think I beat one of the pound-for-pound greatest fighters of the world. You know, when he was up there and Dana White was touting him as one of the best guys, pound-for-pound, now all of a sudden he lost to TJ twice. I'm the second bantamweight to beat him, you know. So if you watch this fight with Jeremy Stephens, he was whooping up Jeremy in that first round and a half, and then Jeremy landed one big right hand halfway through that second round that stunned and rocked Barao. And I think that's when he realized these guys are a lot bigger and they hit a lot harder at 145 compared to they do at 135. So to take anything away from that win is kind of silly in my in my perspective. I think he's still very, very tough. I'm interested to see how he does in his next fight, see if he actually stays at bantamweight and see what he does, because I still think he's got a lot of fight in him. I was hitting him with some hard shots, and he was in there to fight the entire time.
And obviously we got TJ Dillashaw coming up against Cody Garbrandt. Obviously that's your division, so what's your thoughts on that fight? How do you see that fight playing out as well?
I think they're just keeping the belt warm for me. Cody knows I'm coming for him. He knows we've had our fair share of battles on Twitter, a couple of exchanges here and there, but I respect him as an athlete. But outside of that, he's got something that I want. And right now, I don't know how that fight's going to go, but I think TJ's confident for a reason. You know, they've been training partners for a long time, so there's got to be something that he knows that we don't know about. So I'm very interested to see how that fight plays out. I think TJ's a very smart, strategical fighter. I think he's very smart where he knows how to adjust in the middle of a fight. When he fought Dominic Cruz, he was chasing Cruz around the entire time and getting pieced up. And then when he realized and made that adjustment halfway through that third round, he started to let Cruz come to him. And once he started doing that, he started to find his range with the leg kicks, his combinations, and that's when he won those later rounds, and it was a split decision fight. And I think that's the type of fighter TJ is. He knows how to adjust. He knows how to play the game. And I think that might pose some problems because he's a smaller fighter, but his footwork and I think his hand speed, I think he has a little bit more of a versatile attack than Cody does. So it makes it's an interesting fight. I'm not sure who the winner is going to be. Cody hits a lot harder, and he sits down on his punches more. TJ is going to be more in there to kind of pick his shots, pick his spots, look for his takedowns, get his openings, make it a gritty fight, push him up against the cage where he can. So I'm going to be in the building for that one. And like I said, whoever wins, they're just keeping the belt warm because I'm coming for that shit. Even with Jimmy, it was his girlfriend talking shit to me, his wife talking shit to me. I'm like, what? I don't understand what happened in 2017 where fighters' girlfriends do all they do all the trash talking for their boyfriends, which makes no sense to me. I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and talk shit to you. How does that look for me? You know? So if you want to go behind your boyfriend's handle and talk shit, then I'll just talk shit to him on his handle or something. But don't come to my. I don't know. That's just that whole thing was just weird. They said Cruz wasn't going to take the fight. I wanted to fight him. I want to fight the top guys. I want to fight the best guys in the world. I want to show that I proved and put in the work to fight for the belt. I'm not looking to cut corners and you know, I want to put in my own work. I'm putting in the work. I'm putting in the time in the gym. So, you know, that's all that was. If he can't respect that, then fuck him.